Hello everybody, and welcome back. We are here in the new update. We're gonna do some Sunchaser engine testing on the Lucent Moon, along with a couple of the other ones. Um, but for right now, my only plan is to test it with the Lucent Moon in high sec. It just got a buff to where in high sec and low sec, the Sunchaser engines of the Young ships is doubled. And also the warm-up period to activate Sunchaser is now 5 seconds rather than the 120 or 240 seconds that it was previously. So we're now going to have a 6 light year jump range with Sunchaser engine, and that'll be awesome. But first I am going to go ahead and grab my PI for the last 2 days. Since you last saw me do my PI, that was a few days ago, I had swapped over to fuel. Oh, I actually need to pause this.
Warp drive active.
Oh well.
Autopilot engaged.
I could have used my mining implant for this, but whatever. It's fine. Actually, this would be a good chance to, how do I do that again? Implants. Not that I actually need to. I can carry everything I want. So I'm just not gonna worry with changing it over. If the game will let me exit back out of this.
Warp drive active. Autopilot engaged.
But anyway, so I've done 2 days of mining, and it is all fuel, which means I mine it faster. In the first day, I had most of my planets completely filled on my main character up here. Um,
Warp drive active.
and that's why I particularly like running fuel. I use fuel for
Destination
everything,
reached.
and I haven't grabbed fuel in a while, so I am actually out of fuel.
Autopilot engaged.
And since Sunchaser needs fuel in order to activate, we're gonna make
Warp
sure we
drive
have
active.
enough at all times. Hopefully with the buffs to Sunchaser, I can more easily utilize the Lucent Moon, and reduce the amount of time that I'm
Destination
traveling.
reached. Autopilot engaged.
I'm a little bit rambly today. I haven't really put anything together in my head of what I'm going to talk about or how I'm going to talk about it.
Warp
I'm just
drive
kind of
active.
going based off of what I think of and just throwing out my thoughts on it. I do really quite like some of the changes that they've made in this update. There was a few times during those patch notes where I found myself like fist pumping while reading it. Just absolutely happy that that those changes have been made. And I think the way they handled the new super carriers
Warp drive
is the
active.
right way to do it. Um, in regards to like where they're made, the fact that they are in known PvP areas and gate camp areas, that's awesome.
Destination reached.
Um, it just means it's going to be really hard for these people to get hands on these things without bringing an absolute fleet to defend themselves. I also like that Tama is now a trade
Autopilot
center,
engaged.
so you can utilize the in-game delivery service to deliver your
Warp
items
drive
from
active.
wherever you're at to Tama. It might take 24 hours or something like that to actually get it there, but if you're looking to bypass the gate camps, I think that would be worth it.
Warp drive active.
It'd be nice if we could get like a young hauler or
Destination
something,
reached.
so it has that Sunchaser built into it.
Autopilot engaged. Warp drive active.
Oh, I guess I never changed that over. Interesting. I thought I changed that. Okay, I need to find another planet here. What planet did I go for on here?
Warp drive
Okay, so
active.
I've got 2 perimeters. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do with that.
Destination reached. Autopilot engaged.
So is this all my planets? Yes. So I've got to go
Warp
back to
drive active.
perimeter and place a planet there.
Destination reached.
Should help me out with that. Okay, this one can go back to Gina.
Autopilot engaged. Warp drive active.
We are in perimeter, so
Warp
let's
drive
go ahead
active.
and find the planet that I was going to put this on. I think it's that one. Nope, it's that one. Right? 198 per hour, 162 per hour. Yeah, let's go ahead and place
Destination
it on
reached.
this one here. Okay, and we will see what we get from the planets that I have and the fuel that I've gotten. So for 2 days, so this is 48 hours of mining. It made approximately, I'm gonna pretty much average that at 46 million for 48 hours. It's not a whole lot, but per week that'll come out to like 160 million a week or something like that, 140 million a week. But we're only using this fuel for ourselves. We're not relying on it for any other reason. I thought I had you going back to Gina. Why are you still sitting here? Go ahead and jump in our Lucents. I have a bunch of Kanyu prototypes, which is good. I can test with that too, eventually. I do think that when I get the opportunity, I want to take these Kanyu prototypes and do some low-sec stuff. But I need to use my skill points for some other things right now. The end of special weapons. Okay, some better tracking speed there. Yeah, damage and fall off, I don't really care about that. But it's the only thing I really have to work on other than other weapon skills. Maybe I should start looking into like the decomposer skills and stuff. Just a thought. We got a whole ton of experience recently, so I definitely want to go through and use what I've got. And before this goes too crazy, I need to swap my characters and get some training on the alphas. Sorry, this is just kind of like an average day for me. What you're seeing here, just flopping between characters real quick to try to get them set up and going for the other series that we've got going on. The Alpha 2 Omega in particular, we're trying to keep ourselves training. So while we're here, let's go ahead and grab the rewards. Gives us quite a bit of skill training. We're still a long way off from Tech 8. So, what are we training? We were training targeting skills, I believe. Now, let's go with electronic systems. And we'll just get some better skills here. Okay. And I need to figure out what to do with this character. Maybe I can go with Sino. No, I cannot. I'm running out of stuff I can train into. I can train into other weapon systems. Let's go into maintenance then. This character's fine, this character's fine. Let's see, let's do... Since we're in armor, let's go ahead and finish this. I can do like frigate defense to get me through here. Right, that'll just give me a few hours. Alright, now that these guys are training, I can jump back off of them. grab our fuel. I wonder how much these are worth now. Alright, I'll take it. There's my fuel. Okay, completely refueled there. Can I move these to a fuel bay here? Fuel tank? Yep. My Lucent does have a fuel tank. That's good. Put as much fuel in there as possible. Hmm. Try that again. See, I don't have nearly as much fuel there, but I've been holding on to the fuel on my main character. Alright, so I have a couple of missions here that we're going to be jumping to. So this one's in New Caldari, this one's in Erlin, and the other one here is Malkin, or something like that. See if I can roll like one more lab here. Yes, 5.5, I'll take it. Okay, no labs there. I've got a lab there. Awesome. So we've got a few labs that we can use the Sunchaser to get to. We're going to start with the New Caldari. I think I need to fill the fleet. Got you. And I've got you. Okay. This is gonna take me a little bit to figure out how this works. Fleet. Set as destination. Because the Sunchaser engine can only be activated from the map. It just makes it that little bit more difficult to do anything. But I do also wonder if... Oh god. We are really close. Okay. Just out of sheer curiosity, if they changed anything, Okay, they have not. Cool. So yes, the only way that we can actually jump there there it is. More. Oh, it's fleet. Okay, so it's just jump to system. Okay, you're about to activate the Sunchaser drive. After a warm-up of 5 seconds, you can jump to New Caldari. If you... You'll see it ate up a bunch of capacitor, but we are now going to jump. Definitely gonna need some better, capacitor. Okay, we are now in the system with my...
Autopilot destination reached.
with my mission.
Fleet warp.
Definitely some, like, visual bugs and stuff going on here. You can see, like, all this purple stuff in the background. You can see the orange stuff here. This character has all that purple stuff going on. Now, I have no idea if there's, like, a limitation on the Sunchaser drive here. Oh yeah,
Warp
44
drive active.
seconds. Okay, so each time we do a jump, it'll cause fatigue. So I definitely need to look into scaling into that.
We're being warp scrambled. We're being warp scrambled. We're being warp scrambled.
I don't know why it did not take me.
Located here.
Oh, it jumped me to Centaurus instead, because I selected the wrong place. Selected Centaurus instead of 20 more seconds to recover. Okay, once I get used to how this works,
Enemy ships detected.
we'll make it work better. I need a bunch more capacitor. Yep, so this is me kind of learning how everything works here. I
Enemy
forgot
ships
to
detected.
swap my aerospace implant.
We're under attack. We're being warp scrambled. We're under attack.
Okay, now we're on aerospace implant.
We're under attack. Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
I need to see how much fuel that took, because we were full, and so let's have a look at the capacitor. Oh, it used almost nothing,
Enemy ships
like
detected.
150,000.
Located here. We're under attack.
Okay, I need to set for Hertman. Because these aren't very far away, it's not that bad. Let's see, it says another 5 seconds for the warm-up.
Warning, capacitor running low.
So it still doesn't like the capacitor here.
Warning, capacitor running low.
So I definitely need to do something about my capacitor. 992. I definitely need to work on, like, jump skills. And it doesn't seem to work for having the capacitor battery active. So let's just go ahead and do some normal moving around first. I don't know where it's dropping this. So we'll see how that goes. What kind of skills are available for jumping? Be under navigation, right? Jump drive. See, I don't even have jump drive on these two characters. Which should affect Sunchaser, if I recall correctly. Okay.
Fleet warp.
Okay, so it did put all of us in the same kind of area. I don't know. This ship is somewhere in the middle of space. Don't know where it is in the system relatively. But the other two came through the gate, so they're next to each other. So that just shows you that the Sunchaser does not drop you on a gate or a sun.
Warp drive active.
We're being warp scrambled. Enemy ships detected.
Let's see if I can get a system that's quite far. Let's go to this one in Erlin,
Enemy ships detected.
since I should be able to reach it with the Sunchaser engines.
We're under attack. Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
So just a reminder, in this new patch, or in this new update, the AI now has a 500-kilometer range for targeting, which means they can chase you all the way out there, and they will continue to chase you instead of warping back
Enemy ships detected.
at the 250-kilometer mark. That doesn't really change much for carriers. Because carriers can very easily have a 600-kilometer range, and they still would be safe. Alright, let's go ahead and get our system set to Erlin. Let's see if we can even make that jump. So Erlin is over here. So it will let me go. Okay, cool. Let me go ahead and shut all this down. And let's see if it'll actually let me go, or if I need more capacitor. Erlin, jump. Erlin, jump. Erlin, jump. Let's see.
Warning. Capacitor
Still need
running
capacitor on these other two ships.
low. Warning. Capacitor running low.
They, these two ships pretty much need full capacitor to make these jumps. Because I have no skills in I have no skills for jump. See if we can do it again. They do need to probably add some UI here. There we go. That will go. And even with the waiting here, it was faster for me to wait for this capacitor than it was to go 4 jumps by hand. Oh, come on. I'm so close. And once I get some skills in jump, it'll be fine. But you can see I just went 4 jumps in high sec to my next mission.
Fleet warp.
Put me right on the sun this time.
Warp drive active.
Alright. Get everything locked up here. Let me go ahead and activate our cap batteries so we can try to keep up with everything here.
Enemy ships detected. We're under
Once we get
attack.
above the 30% threshold, we do gain our capacitor back a little bit faster.
detected. We're under attack.
I'm hoping that we get a cyan spawn in this one. I believe this one is a 5.5 million slab. Let's see here. The one we're in is in Erlin. No, it's a 5 million, so we will not see a cyan here.
We're under attack.
Hey, Jenner, how you doing? Good to see ya. I tell you what, I need some more skill points. My god. The capacitor need of the Sunchaser engines is kinda rough.
Enemy ships detected.
No
We're
problem.
under attack.
Okay, so right now, it would make more sense for me to jump everything into a station or dock everybody in a station.
Fleet warp.
Just to get my capacitor back. Macallan is a 4 million. Hurrah
Drive
is
active.
a 5.5 million.
Docking request accepted.
So by docking and undocking like this, we're getting back our capacitor to full capacity, which will allow us to do that jump just a little bit faster. Let's see if this is... Where in the world is Malcolin? Uh-huh. Let's see if this is within that 6 jump range. It is. That's insane. Oh, I accidentally jumped myself to the wrong system. Okay, let's just dock real quick. Just little issues that occur with Sunchaser. I wish you could activate it from the autopilot screen instead. Just to make it that little bit easier to use. You're already setting the destination. Why would you need to use the map to jump, you know? I think it would just be a lot better. And we're still going to be locked out of our jump for a period of time, I think. If docking and undocking resets it, it does not. So we're going to be stuck out of our drive for almost 3 minutes there. Because every time we jump, we extend the jump fatigue. If you do it right every time, it won't matter how long that jump fatigue is. But if you mess up, it's going to cost you some time. So we're just going to autopilot our way to Malcolin. These 2 ships are just going to sit here for the moment. Let's see, this one's got kind of the same jump cooldown here. You can see just how slow it is for the Lucent Moon to move around. Yes, you could do the micro warp drive trick. I personally don't like running prop mods. I'm someone who values combat capability and defensive capabilities way more than mobility. Um, Especially since most times when I am in combat, mobility is not what I need. Very rarely does mobility happen to be the reason why I can't do anything. It's usually defense or damage, or range, or tracking, not mobility. See, even with waiting for the timer to end, I could have made the jump like 30 seconds faster than what the going system to system is going to be. So it's still worthwhile at this point to use the jump feature and wait for the cooldown than it would be um, to just move 2 jumps.
Fleet warp.
And because all of our ships are in the same system, we can use the fleet warp function to get us to our destination. That's so nice.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack.
Okay, so we've got this one going on right now, and our last mission should be this one. Unless we can get
Enemy ships
a
detected.
good reset out of it.
We're under attack.
So no labs there. There is a lab here. And there's a lab there.
Enemy ships detected. We're being warp scrambled.
I think doing labs this way is pretty cool. being able to take your young ships and just jump wherever you need to go
Enemy ships
is
detected.
way more valuable than having to
We're
move
under
system to
attack.
system to system. I wish all three of my characters had one use, but only one of them has it. All three of them do have the Kanyu prototype though.
Enemy ships detected.
What kind of DPS am I putting out here? 18.5, 17.5, 17.5. Be back in just a minute. Alright, I am back. And yes, we are chasing the sun. But we're not doing the greatest at it. I need some skills on my alts. And I need to actually be more reliable on selecting my system.
Warning. Capacitor
See, I just
runs
don't
low.
have the capacitor at all times. Nice, 40k DPS and 6 million HP is really good. We're going to dock this thing real quick. It is honestly just faster for me right now, with my lack of skills, to dock somewhere, undock, and then, and then jump after that. So Sunchaser allows you to jump to any system. In nullsec, there are select systems that you can jump to. They have to meet a certain set of requirements that I am not aware of
Warp
right
drive
now.
active.
The only thing I'm aware of in terms of the Sunchaser null is that the system that you jump to must not have a it's like a
Docking request
Fortizar
accepted.
thing that decloaks people and can also lock them down. Yes, Cytojammer. Thank you. Yeah. So if the system in nullsec has a Cytojammer, you cannot jump to it. So you'll see here, I've got a system set to for all. I have to come to the map, select the system, and hit jump to system. It'll give me this warm-up period, and then it will jump me. Oh. After it jumps me, I will get a jump drive cooldown, so that means during that time I cannot jump to another system. And here I am in my target system 4 jumps away. Let's go ahead and dock. Sunchaser on the Youngjung ships, let me see what we're at now, does use fuel. It uses like 150,000 per light year or something like that, I think. I don't really know the exact number, but we just went 4 jumps, and we've been jumping to each of our things, and we're only like 2 million in. You can see in my fleet log here, we started with Caldari, we went to Hertman, we then went to Erlin, Malcolin, and now Pará. So I think it's pretty reasonable, especially with the amount of fuel that we can carry. In high sec and low sec, the the jump range is doubled, so we have 6 light year jump range.
Autopilot disabled.
Need to dock this ship. But yeah, it uses a ton of capacitor and a decent amount of fuel. You can get up to, I think, like a 90%, it said, reduction in fuel cost, or in capacitor cost. So, I'm going to be probably working toward that. I'm hoping we get, like, a cyan spawn today. I think that would be fun.
Fleet
Let's get
link.
everything going. So... It doesn't say specifically, but, the patch notes mentioned that it can. It's actually a fairly cheap thing to adjust or scale into. I think the patch notes said, skills do
Warp
affect it.
drive active.
We're being warp scrambled. Enemy ships detected. Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Constantly having to jump between all of these screens and lock things up.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Fireworks all around us.
Enemy ships detected.
Let's see. Yep, we've got a cyan.
We're under attack.
Which one is it targeting? we're gonna get our small ships cleared out here. You can see we're kind of DPSing that cyan pretty hard. With just one ship. The other two are focusing on actual DPS. So you do get bounty ticks from these fighters, so you want to try to clear out the fighters first before you actually kill the cyan. And he's not really doing all that much DPS. So I don't need a whole lot here. Clear out some of these other ships. I should be putting my Nosferatu on the cyan. Okay, I think we've pretty much torn through all of his fighters, or close to it. If I remember correctly, the Cyan in high sec has 27 flights of fighters. So we're just gonna kind of farm these for the ISK. Okay, he hasn't sent out a new flight of fighters, so that's likely the last one he has. And now all he has is his high slots. To give you an idea here, you're watching me tear apart this Cyan in high sec with a little under like 60,000. So we're probably more like 52,000 DPS. Or 48,000 DPS that we just tore through that Cyan. Alright, I'm happy to have gotten that on stream. That's exactly what I wanted these high-sec Cyans to be able to do, is jump out and kill things like that. And all within bounty tick. So this will be like a really insane bounty tick for just one mission in this system. Okay, we're going to go to this system as our last hurrah for the day. Okay, let's set that as our destination. We're going to dock all of these ships. So I can get my capacitor back and jump. And then we will jump. 4 jumps. I'll check the fuel when we do this. So we're at 5.213. 4869.
Warp drive active.
And 491. 4941. 4941. That is for our reference on when we jump through.
Docking request accepted. Undocking.
This one is 2.32 light years. And 4 jumps. Go ahead and jump. We are now in the system. Let's check our fuel here. Okay, so 2.2 light year jump range. We are now at 4.991, 4580, and 4651. Those are our variants on a 2.2 light year jump with the fuel.
Fleet warp.
So it used about 300,000-ish fuel across the board to do that jump. And that can be made a lot more efficient, because I have no skills on my second and third character, but on my main I have 440. If you have a Sunchaser nanocore,
Warp drive active.
this makes it way better. But since the young drone ships automatically have Sunchaser as part of their ship itself, you're better off just going with like a DPS or defense module nanocore.
We're being warp scrambled. Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
Alright, so that was which system was that bounty tip for?
Enemy ships detected.
Okay, so that was not our cyan tick. That was the system previous to the cyan. I think that cyan spawn explains pretty reasonably why I like fighters over lightweight ships. The lightweight ships would have, for the most part, struggled to kill those fighters quick enough. But the fighters are equivalent to each other, and so they're going to apply their full DPS to them.
Enemy ships detected.
The lightweight ships are significantly better at dealing with like heavy fighters from super carriers than they are regular fighters or light fighters from like a cyan, the regular carriers.
Enemy ships detected.
I'm pretty sure I can just drop that second shield booster and run another cap battery. Or I can run like a yellow or a red. We'll see if we get another like Waste Seeker event, how these ships handle the Waste Seekers. But judging by the way they handled the Cyan just fully DPSing random ships, it shouldn't be a problem for me to drop that one shield booster. Alright. We will now head back to Gina. We're locked out of using our jump, our Sunchaser, because we're stuck on cooldown still. I mean, we've got 291 minutes of jump fatigue. What even is that? Multiple hours. It's almost 5 hours of jump fatigue.
Autopilot engaged.
which is the only reason why our jump drive cooldown is so long. Actually, you know what would be good? Since this one's like almost done with its jump drive, I'll show you just how quick this is comparatively. So that thing's done with its jump. We've got Gina right here. We're gonna jump to Gina. Okay, and we've got to dock first. So it's not gonna be faster this time then. I think it'll be...
Warp
I
drive
think it'll be
active.
slower. If you've got the capacitor, it is a lot faster. Yes, sir, I do have 3 Lucent moons. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I have a couple of other ships that you'll probably like.
Warp
Yeah,
drive
Lucent
active.
Moon is probably the best, high-sec ship to have right now. We're just gonna jump to Gina now. Since they have the Sunchaser engine, we just go straight wherever I need. We're kind of in a race right now to who can get to Gina first. I have been multi-boxing for a little over a year now. Yeah, if you're gonna be multi-boxing, you need multiple accounts. And then I also recommend having at least Omega Basic. You can do it as an alpha, but you'll be stuck at Tech 7. And do not run any sort of script or macro
Drive
or
active.
anything like that. Do everything by hand. That way you're not going to be falling within their body guidelines. You do not want to end up in their bot guidelines.
Distant docking request accepted.
Alright. Let me get swapped over to my bodyguards again. I think I've experienced what I want to do with the... with the Lucent Moons today. And now I just want to be getting my bounty ticks. Ooh, cannons. What do you fly normally? Aw, yeah, that's unfortunate. I had a situation quite like that as well. I had been streaming a little bit long ago. I used to stream a little bit of Dark Souls and Forza Motorsport, but when I moved, we had like very poor internet for the first like 3 or 4 months of me being in this location, and then for another like year or so, it wasn't good enough before they actually upgraded our internet in the area, and now I'm able to stream. Yeah, I think the one thing that I would want to see change about how the Sunchaser works is I want to be able to set a location like foreign, for example, and I want to be able to access Sunchaser from the menu. Say like instead of just having start and end, or if you hit start it'll set it, but if it was like if it would allow you to hit like use Sunchaser or jump to if you have Sunchaser abilities, I think that would make it a lot smoother to use. I think everything else about it is pretty awesome. The fuel consumption is fine. The jump range is awesome. I've got to refuel my ships, by the way. So it's definitely quite expensive if you don't have any skills. I like that because I was in the bodyguards and they're not allowed in high sec anymore. It won't give me an autopilot ability. But if I just reset this when I'm in another ship, I now have autopilot capabilities. But if it would allow you to like come here and hit like jump 2, I think that would be the perfect change to the Sunchaser system. Going through the map is just really laggy and like really unreliable. Okay, so we started today with a 17 million bounty reward, an 11 million bounty reward, an 11 million bounty reward, a 6 million bounty reward because I was slow to get into the system, and then a 19 million and an 11 million. Nice. So we went from 1,114,000,000 up to 1,259,000,000. What is that? 259 minus 114. So we made 145 million ISK per character in 2 hours. Not the greatest, but it's certainly not the worst either.
Autopilot
Alright,
disabled.
let's see what's going on with the market real quick. How are the tactical destroyers doing? They're probably still sold out. Yes, they are. How about the battleships? Did they jump price? 5 billion. Yep. So they went up about a billion per ship. And here's the new carriers here. The new super carriers. 400% shield extender bonus. Just passive tank these things. That's gonna be way better. 90% E-War resistance? 90% web resistance? Tell me that doesn't stack with this thing. Plus an extra 18% is what I would have on a level 25 tactical defense for E-War. So you'd be at a little under 90% capacitor warfare resistance with something like the Rahab. 50 warp stability. Cannot fit main weapons. Cyno generator. Can fit mothership defense. Jump overload. Micro jump drive generator. I was gonna check the other super carriers. I thought this thing was supposed to have a better resistance to Emor. But the Wyvern has the same stats. So this thing can use 2 lightweight cruisers and 2 lightweight battle cruisers. Yeah. So, you know how yesterday people were talking about, well, these fighters, these lightweight ships, the new ones, are gonna die easily? No, they're not. You're getting a 30% EHP per level. It's not just regular HP, it's EHP. So that's factoring in the resistances and everything. It does not get shield booster boost amount though. And it does not get the command burst stuff. Interesting. It doesn't get the burst projectors or anything like that. All the resistances are the same. Lightweight ship damage and tracking. 20% EHP on it. Inertia modifier. Shield boost effect on this one. So the Midgard is, from what I can tell, just overall less tanky. The Superbia is going to have the tankiest lightweight ships. That's kind of nice. It does not get the armor repair though. It's kind of unfortunate. Okay, so let's look at the overall defense here. 7,477,000. So they've increased the overall defense a lot. They've got 10,000 cargo hold. So they pretty much like gave them all 100,000 EHP difference, or HP difference. '68, 6846. This one is 7822. Yeah, so the new super carrier's got about 100,000 more uh HP. Why did the Rahab get the HP buff on its structure and armor, but it lost some to the shield? Recharge rate on the capacitor is the same. Interesting. So if I was flying one of these things, I would probably, since I'm a missile pilot, I would go with the lightweight Bellicose, because it'll do the target painter effect, and then I'd probably go with like a Drake or a Naga. 1800 for the Drake. The Naga's gonna have 1920. Yep. You do have to have battlecruiser skills to buff these new lightweight ships as well. So you need cruiser and battlecruiser skills. Oh my god. Oh my god, the skills. Oh my god. I gotta see this. Dear God. Oh, interesting. This one, the Naga uses large missiles, not medium missiles. I guess I should have figured that, since it used large railguns, and they converted it to missiles. Oh my god, the amount of skills they need. So you need the battlecruiser skills, you need the large weapon skills, you need the precision skills and stuff for missiles, you need propulsion, you need lightweight ship skills. Oh my god. That is rough. Wow. Alright. That is definitely something. That's gonna take a lot of time for people to scale into some of those new lightweight ships. I think a lot of people that are flying super carriers right now have spec out of battle cruisers and cruisers, which means they probably also only have the large weapon skills and maybe the lightweight ship skills. So they have to completely skill into cruisers and battle cruisers in order to make it work for them. Dang. Alright. Well, I think that's where I will end the stream today. I got to experience and learn how to use Sunchaser. We had a look at some of the new things that came to the game. We just had fun. So thank you all so much for joining me. Next time you see me might be an Alpha to Omega. I don't know. Otherwise, it's guaranteed on Mondays. Thank you all so much for all the support that you have brought to the channel. It's been awesome. Uh, I do have a Discord, so if you want to join the Discord, it is pinned on YouTube, and it's also part of the Twitch channel. Free to join. You're not expected to do anything. You can just join and lurk if you want to. Um, just come on in. Any tech level 1, tech level 10, doesn't matter. Just join in, have fun, talk about what you're interested in, and I will see you on the next one. Take care and be safe.